Ayan, so hi everyone, good morning. So before anything else, let me introduce myself first. So I am Yasmin Saliman, your certified mental health first aider. And today, pag-uusapan natin ang isa sa mga pinaka-importanteng bagay sa buhay, which is ikaw. Yes, ikaw nga na nanonood nito ngayon. Kasi alam mo ba, next slide po. Ayan. Alam mo ba that you matter? Yan, mahalaga ka. And ngayon, pag-uusapan natin on something that's all about you, which is on how to take care of yourself as a Gen Z, as a proud member of Generation Z. Ayan, so if you're watching this, there's a good chance that you are part of this amazing, dynamic, and vibrant generation. So next slide po. Ayan, ang Gen Z. So tayo mga Gen Z, kilala po tayo for so many incredible things. So we are socially aware, we are passionate about the causes that matter, and also we are creative in ways that change the world. And we are also resilient in the face of challenges. So nakikita nyo, ang dami nating mga magagandang katangian. And we are a generation that dares to dream big. Pero aminin na natin na ang pagiging isang Gen Z isn't always sunshine and rainbows. Ang dami nating struggles, 'di ba? So from social media pressures to academic stress and career stress. Kaya ngayong araw, we are not going to shy away from those challenges. We will face them head on. So, think of this conversation as if you are talking to your older sister, your bestie, or your mental health ally. And ako yon. So, remember, hindi ito lecture, okay? Wala tayong quiz or exam mamaya. This is a safe space, a judgment-free zone kung saan pag-uusapan natin ang mga realidad ng pagiging isang Gen Z, mga tips kung paano natin ipaprioritize ang ating mga sarili, and debunk myths about self-care. So, ready na ba kayo na unahin ang mga sarili ninyo for once? So, let's go! Ayan, magsimula tayo sa something fun, which is our lingo, or yung mga language nating mga Gen Z. Tayo kasi may mga sarili tayong mga language siya, di ba? So, it is more than just a slang. So, it reflects kung paano tayo mag-isip at kung paano natin i-express ang mga sarili natin. So, it is a tool na ginagamit natin para makapag-connect tayo, makarelate, and to make sense of the world we live in. So, ang mga salitang ginagamit natin ay hindi lang para makapagpatawa or para maging trendy tayo. So, madalas kasi yung mga words na to is nagmula pa sa mga malalalim na emosyon, mga karanasan, at yung kultura bilang isang makabagong generation. So, ipinapakita nito kung paano tayo ka-creative and kung paano tayo ka-adaptable sa pag-express kahit na sa pinaka-komplikadong mga nararamdaman natin. So ayan, isa-isahin natin yung ilan sa mga popular Gen Z words or phrases. And ano nga ba ang ibig sabihin nila in a deeper sense, lalo na in terms of mental health and self-care. Ayan, magsimula tayo sa slay. Ayan, slay. So, ang slay daw, this means doing something exceptionally well or looking amazing. Pero, alam nyo ba na deeper than just confidence, slay na word is a way of validating success kahit sa mga maliliit lang. So, for example, nagpalit ka ng profile picture mo. Tapos, may nag-comment sa picture mo na friend mo. Sabi niya, you slay. Ayan. It's their way of acknowledging na ang ganda mo or ang gwapo mo, ang cute mo, or na-appreciate nila yung effort mo sa look mo, napapansin nila. So, in self-care, this reminds us to celebrate our small wins. Ayan, minsan kasi masyado lang tayong focus sa mga malalaking bagay or sa big achievements natin. Hindi na natin napapansin na kailangan din pala nating i-appreciate yung mga maliliit na bagay na nangyayari or naipapakita sa atin for everyday life. So, Slay encourages us to recognize even the small steps that we take every day. Ayan. So, in translation, celebrate small wins. So, whether you got out of bed or kahit na uh, ngayong araw nakatawid ako mag-isa, ngayong araw nakapag-commute ako mag-isa, yung mga maliliit na bagay, we should appreciate them. Ayan. Kaya if kunyari, nakatapos ka ng assignment mo, appreciate natin yan, i-celebrate natin yan. Is no cap. So, no cap is basically a modern way of saying totoo, walang halong biro, parang no joke, ayan. So, importante siyang reminder, especially when it comes to self-awareness and honesty about our emotions. Ayan, yung pagiging totoo natin sa nararamdaman natin. So, for example, sabihin na natin na you're feeling super stressed. Ayan, stress ka na. So, you might tell to your friend, no cap, ang bigat talaga ng nararamdaman ko lately. Ayan, sinabi mo yan sa friend mo. So, being honest with yourself, ang pagiging totoo mo sa sarili mo at sa ibang tao, is a form of self-care. Kasi, how can you deal with something if you are not acknowledging it? 'Di ba? So in self-care, no cap encourages us to drop the filter and be real. So if hindi ka okay, admit it. Kung malungkot ka today, aminin mo. So kung kailangan mong umiyak, umiyak ka. So no cap. It's not okay or it's okay rather. It's okay to be not to be okay. Ayan. So, the next one is, it's giving. Ayan. It's giving, ibig sabihin nun, about siya sa vibes, like vibing, ganun. So, when we say it's giving self-care or it's giving stress, we are assessing the energy or mood of something. So, isa siyang madaling paraan para i-summarize kung ano ba yung nararamdaman mo or kung ano yung impact ng isang bagay sa'yo. So, let's make this first personal. So, tanungin mo yung sarili mo, is your life giving positivity right now or it's giving burnout? Ayan. So, when you use this phrase, it's like checking the vibe of your life or even your mental state. Kapag hindi maganda yung nafe-feel mo, maybe it's time to pause and reflect. Ano ba yung magagawa mo para maging it's giving calm and peace instead, 'di ba? Ayan, so the next one is the main character energy. Ayan, gustong-gusto natin 'yan. Naririnig natin 'yan madalas. Minsan nga ginagawa nating biro sa mga classmates natin. Ayan na naman yung main character, ayan. So, main character energy is such a powerful mindset. So, it means stepping in your own spotlight. Yan. Parang yan yung sinasabi nila na step out on your comfort zone. So, lumabas ka sa comfort zone mo, mag-explore ka. So, embracing your unique story and prioritizing yourself. So, think of this like sa isang movie, ikaw ang bida. Ayan. Gusto niyo yon, ikaw ang bida. So, sa tunay na buhay or in real life, this might look like treating yourself to a solo date, magde-date kayo ng self mo, isang coffee date, lalabas ka, mag-start ka ng new hobby, or nagse ka ng boundaries. And it's about acknowledging na you don't always have to take the backseat in your own life. Ayan, i-treat mo yung sarili mo, magsimula ka na alam-alam ng mga bagong mga hobby para malibang ang sarili mo, or marunong ka na mag-set ng boundaries sa ibang tao. Ayan, so 'pag pina-practice natin yung self-care, you're essentially tapping in your main character energy. So, you're saying, "This is my story and I deserve to take care of myself." Ayan, so tama 'yan, go ahead, be the main character sa life mo. So ayan, the next one or the last one is the low key and the high key. So low key and high key are phrases that we use to describe the intensity of our feelings or desires. Pag sinabi kasi nating low key, it is a subtle or low profile. For example, I am low key stressed. Ibig sabihin nun, you are feeling a bit overwhelmed, but it's manageable. So, pag sinabi naman nating high key, opposite siya ng low key. It is intense and hard to ignore. For example, I am high key exhausted. And ibig sabihin nun, you are running on empty and kailangan mo ng pahinga as soon as possible. So, kung yung low key is na manage mo pa, yung high key, kailangan mo na ng rest. Ayan. Opposite siya. So these phrases are helpful in naming emotions. Bakit? Because when you name your feelings, you can address them. Whether you are low-key anxious or high-key happy, identifying what you feel is the first step to taking care of yourself. Ayan. Kaya importante na alam natin kung ano yung nafe-feel natin. Kasi that is the first step para maalagaan ang ating mga sarili. So, Gen Z language may seem playful or shallow to some, pero sa totoo lang, it reflects how emotionally aware we are. Tayong mga Gen Z, we are, sinasabi nila na we are emotionally aware daw. So, yung mga words na ginagamit natin is shortcut lang siya para i-express yung mga deep thoughts, mga struggles, and even yung mga aspirations natin. So, this language allows us to communicate what we feel in a relatable, light-hearted way, even when what we are feeling is heavy. Kaya next time na gagamitin mo yung mga phrases or words na to, remember that they are not just slang. They are the tools to connect with yourself and others on a deeper level. So, yung mga language natin na yan, it shows how creative and emotionally aware the Gen Z, 'di ba? Pero, siyempre, nagre-reflect din yun sa mga struggles natin. Yung mga memes, yung mga slangs, and yung mga humors, ah, maaaring patawa sa atin, pero they are also, but they also highlight deeper issues. Ayan, so let's talk about those challenges next. Ayan, so the real struggles of Gen Z. So, ayan, so ito yung mga some of the struggles na nararanasan nating mga Gen Z ngayon. So, being a Gen Z isn't just about trends, yung mga about lang sa memes or TikTok. Beneath the surface of what seems like a tech-savvy and vibrant generation lies a wave of unique struggles, challenges, yung mga challenges na kinakaharap natin na hindi na-experience ng previous generations sa parehong paraan. So, let's dive deeper into these challenges para maintindihan natin kung bakit napakahalaga ng self-care para sa atin. Ayan, ang una diyan ay ang social media pressure. So, aminin na natin, social media is double-edged sword. On one hand, it connects us to the world, pero on the other hand, it creates constant pressure. So, nakakatulong siya sa atin at somehow, pero it also gave us the negative energy since depende yan sa paggamit natin. Siyempre, may mga limitations yan, may mga advantages and disadvantages na dapat maging mindful tayo. So, eto siya kung paano. The first one is the comparison culture. Ayan. So, sa bawat scroll natin, makakakita tayo ng mga highlight reels, 'di ba? Mga nanonood ba kayo ng reels? Ayan, makikita natin, 'di ba? Mapapanood natin yung mga reels, ng mga ibang tao, ng mga buhay nila, yung mga for example, yung mga vlogger. Ayan, 'di ba? Bino-vlog nila yung mga pagpunta nila sa mga nagve-vacation sila, yung mga perfect vacation, yung mga flawless skin nila, yung mga nagvo-vlog ng mga skincare, mga makeup, ayan. And yung mga career milestone nila, yung mga na-achieve na nila sa buhay nila at that specific age. So, it is easy to feel na parang kulang ka or napag-iiwanan ka. You see the difference on how the social media affects ourselves. Nag-o-overthink ka, bakit si ganito ganyan na yung na-achieve, bakit ako hanggang dito, hanggang ngayon at the age of this, ganito pa lang yung na-achieve ko. Bakit sila nakakapag-vacation sa magagandang mga lugar, while me, andito lang ako sa bahay, ganyan, andito lang ako, gumagala-gala lang ako sa mga malalapit na lugar, na yung privilege na meron sila is parang wala ka. Yung parang nako-question mo na yung sarili mo kung bakit parang may kulang ba sa'yo, bakit sila ganito, bakit sila ganyan. Ayan. So, the next one is validation through likes. Ayan, usong-uso yan lalo na dati. Yung simpleng post mo nagiging parang performance level na. Ayan, so we tie our self-worth to how many likes or comments that we get. Kapag konti yung engagement, parang it reflects something about our value kahit hindi naman dapat. Yung, for example, yung pagpapalit mo ng profile picture, nagkaroon ka lang ng 25 likes, for example. Tapos, parang nako-question mo na yung, "Am I not pretty?" Like, ayun gano'n, 'di ba? Tulad nung kanina. So, parang nako-question mo yung sarili mo. Parang nagiging dinidepende mo yung worth mo or yung kahalagahan mo bilang isang tao sa kung gaano lang karami yung engagement, yung like, yung comment, or yung share na natatanggap mo mula sa ibang tao. Ayan. So the last one for the social media pressure is the FOMO or the fear of missing out. So ayan, parang same as the comparison culture pero may mga magkaiba sila in some way. For example, nakikita mo yung friends mo na nagha-hangout, nag-a-attend ng mga events or living their best lives and you feel left out even if you are perfectly fine where you are. So, pakiramdam mo naman sa sarili mo, okey ka naman, sakto ka naman, wala namang problema. Pero kapag nakikita mo yung ibang tao, nakikita mo yung friends mo na parang nag-step out sila sa comfort zone nila na, dating, extrovert or dating introvert naging extrovert na, nag-a-attend na ng mga events or, saan-saan pumupuntang mga lugar. Tapos, nakikita mo yung mga milestone ng career nila. So ikaw, kahit okay ka naman, feeling mo apektadong-apektado ka na parang may something sa'yo, na something wrong sa'yo, gano'n. So, alam niyo ba na ang katotohanan diyan ay ang social media can make us feel connected, yet isolated at the same time. Nakaka-help siya sa'tin pero at the same time, ah, feeling natin parang na-i-isolate niya tayo in somehow, 'di ba? Kaya mahalaga na mag-set tayo ng boundaries with it. So, lagi niyong tatandaan na kung ano yung nakikita niyo online is not the full story. Hindi yun yung buong kwento. So, it's curated content and not reality. So, ayan. Next slide po. Ayan, dumako naman tayo sa next part which is the academic and the career stress. So yung mga Gen Z kasi is a generation of multitaskers. Ayan, tawag nila sa atin minsan mga multitaskers daw tayo kasi na-handle natin yung mga bagay ng sabay-sabay. Pero we're not just students, we're also side hustlers, creatives, and dreamers trying to figure out life. Pero, ang bigat ng expectations. Ayan. The first one is the high expectations in school. Ayan. So, we are in-expect nila na mag excel tayo academically despite the overwhelming workload and distractions. So, yung online learning during the pandemic, that added a whole new level of challenge. So, na-experience ko din yan nung pandemic. Like, sobrang hirap talaga to excel sa daming sa workload na sobrang dami. So ayan, sa career planning also. So there's this pressure to have everything figured out lately. Like ano ba yung plano mo after college or magtatrabaho ka na ba? Ayan lang yung mga ilan sa mga katanungan na minsan nating naririnig. So, the third one is the side hustles. So, unlike sa mga older generations or sa ibang generations, maraming Gen Z ang naghahanap ng extra income through freelancing, content creation, or small business kasi ang dami ng mga financial challenges today, di ba? So, marami na sa atin yung mga ginagamit yung social media para makapag-earn ng money sa iba't ibang paraan for content creation. Meron din mga nag-small business, may mga nag-online seller, ayan, yung mga nagbebenta ng mga bagay-bagay. So, naghahanap tayo ng extra income na unlike sa iba, ngayon na-experience na natin siya through online or social media. And ang resulta nito, ang lahat ng ito, ang resulta niya ay burnout. So parang there's never enough time kahit anong effort mo, feeling mo hindi ka pa rin enough. So self-care becomes crucial here. Parang in this part, parang sobrang complicated ng self-care because it is about finding balance and giving yourself permission to slow down. And sobrang hirap continue kapag sa gano'ng bagay. So ayan. So always remember na mag-slow down tayo, na merong process, magdahan-dahan lang tayo, hindi tayo life is not a race, 'di ba? Sabi nga nila. Hindi race ang buhay. So darating din yung sarili mong time. Parang flowers lang 'yan, you have your own time to bloom. Ayan, meron tayong kanya-kanyang oras para magtagumpay, 'di ba? So, next slide po. Ayan, ang pangatlo ay ang global issues awareness. So, tayong mga Gen Z, we are more aware than ever of the bigger picture. Sa sobrang daming information online, we are constantly exposed to global issues. And isa na dito ay ang climate change at ang political instability. Ayan. So, the next one is the pandemic aftermath. Ayan, just to add lang, ano, yung pandemic aftermath. So, yung COVID-19, talagang binago niya talaga lahat. For years, we were isolated from friends and loved ones. Yung mga formative years natin na dapat puno ng memories, na cut short. So, yung online classes left many of us feeling unprepared with gaps in learning and social skills. Na parang napakalaking adjustment nang nangyari during and after the pandemic, na dapat pumapasok tayo sa school, nakikipag-socialize tayo sa mga tao sa paligid natin, which is hindi gano'n yung nangyari kasi ah, alam naman natin na na-isolate tayo sa kanya-kanya nating bahay, na bawal lumabas, kasi pinapahalagahan natin yung health ng bawat isa. So, dito din, during the pandemic din, dito din dumami yung cases ng may mga mental health problems, or yung naka-experience ng anxiety, mga nagkaroon ng depression, not just because of the pandemic itself na magkakasakit, dahil may mga tao na nakaka-experience ng depression and anxiety because nawalan sila ng work, kung paano sila makaka-survive everyday sa pang-araw-araw nila, at malayo sila sa mga families nila and other stuffs. So, yung sobrang daming challenges, especially sa mental health ng mga tao. So, yung loneliness, yung uncertainty, and yung takot natin, ah, na isa yun sa mga bagay na nakaapekto talaga sa atin. So, marami sa atin naka-experience talaga ng anxiety and depression for the first time, or at least yung mga new levels. So, ngayon, until now, we are still recovering from that aftermath. And while we can change the past, kasi hindi naman na natin mababago eh. Wala tayong time machine para bumalik sa oras na yon. Pero, ang magagawa natin ngayon is mag-focus tayo on healing and rebuilding a brighter future. Sabi nga nila, kung ano man yung nangyari sa past natin or sa nakaraan natin, iwanan na natin yon. Pero yung mga lessons na ibinigay sa atin nung pandemic na yon, or kung ano man yung nangyari from the past, is baunin natin uh, uh, for the better future, 'di ba? So magagamit natin 'yan. So mag-focus lang tayo sa healing natin and sa build ng brighter future para sa atin. So bakit nga ba mahalaga ang self-care? So now, here's the thing. If you are feeling overwhelmed by all of this, kung pakiramdam mo na overwhelmed ka na sa lahat ng 'to, you are not alone. So the struggles of Gen Z are real. Totoo talaga siya, and sobrang bigat niya, as in. But let me tell you something important. Taking care of yourself is not selfish. It is necessary. So imagine yourself as a cup. A cup. Kung ubos na yung laman ng cup mo, paano ka pa makakapagbigay sa iba, 'di ba? So, you cannot give what you do not have. Paano mo tutulungan yung ibang tao kung yung sarili mo nangangailangan din ng tulong? At paano mo sila mamahalin, paano mo sila aalagaan kung kinakailangan mo rin ng pag-aalaga mo, 'di ba? So, you cannot give what you do not have talaga in the first place. So, self-care is about refilling the cup. Ayan. Ang self-care about siya sa pagre-refill ng cup mo. So, kung naubos na yung cup mo, it's about making sure you have the energy, the mental clarity, and emotional balance to face life's challenges. And guess what? Self-care doesn't have to be grand or expressive. It's about the little things. So, in order for you to give sa ibang tao, kailangan mo munang ma-fill yung own cup mo. So, para lang siyang cellphone na kailangan mo munang mag-recharge din as a human. Para din tayong cellphone na kailangan din natin mag-recharge in order to help the other people, in order to take care of them, in order to love them. You should love and take care of yourself muna. Ayan. So, yung self-care nga, tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, ay hindi kinakailangan na maging expensive or maging grand. It's about the little things. Ayan, tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, we should celebrate our small wins or yung mga little things. So ano ba yung mga little things na yan? For example, you're taking breaks when you need them, saying no to the things that drain you, spending time with people who make you feel good about yourself. Ayan, yung saying no to the things that drains you. Ang hirap niyan, sobrang hirap niyan. Sa'kin, for me, sobrang hirap niyan sa'kin before. Kasi sa sobrang bait mong tao, hindi ka na maka-no sa iba kapag kinakailangan nila ng help mo. You also need to help yourself, but kailangan ka din nila. So, ang hirap na unahin ang sarili natin, 'di ba? So, instead of helping ourselves, tinutulong na natin sa ibang tao. But, na-realize ko na that is not right. So, minsan, kinakailangan din nating na mag-say no sa mga bagay na nakakapag-drain sa atin. Ayan. So, remember na hindi ka nag-iisa sa journey na 'to, and sometimes it is okay na unahin naman natin yung mga sarili natin, okay? Deserve natin 'yan. Ayan. So, next slide po. Ayan. So, practical self-care tips. So, ayan. The first one is the set boundaries. So, protektahan natin ang mga peace natin. For example, if someone is draining your energy, it is okay to nasabihin na, I need some space right now. Okay lang yon kung kinakailangan mo ng space, it is okay. Okay, so bakit siya nagwo-work? Because boundaries help prevent burnout and prioritize your well-being. The next one is digital detox or to balance your screen time. So, bibigyan ko lang kayo ng tip. So, itry nyo yung screen-free Sunday. Mag-spend kayo ng one day sa loob ng isang linggo, mag-spend kayo ng isang araw na mag-offline kayo. No phones, no gadgets, no everything no screen time. Sobrang helpful talaga niya. Bakit? Kasi ang pagre-reduce ng screen time, nag-i-improve siya ng focus, ng sleep, and ng mental clarity. Yan. So, number 3 is the mindfulness or the be present. So, yung quick exercise lang, let's try this grounding exercise together. Like, name 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can touch, 3 things that you can hear, or the 2 things that you can smell, and the 1 thing that you can taste. Ayan. Yung simpleng mabilisang exercise lang is nakakatulong talaga siya. Yung be present at the moment. Ayan. Mahalaga siya. Kasi ang mindfulness brings you back to the present and nag-help din siya para mabawasan yung stress natin. So the fourth one is journaling, to reflect and to express. So, for example, every day, nagsusulat ka, you have a book na sinusulat mo doon. For example, Write about something you are grateful for and something you are proud of. Ayan, yung mga simpleng bagay or yung mga simpleng questions na ginagawa natin everyday ay talagang nakakatulong siya because gratitude shifts your perspective and self-reflection helps process emotions. So number 5 is the move your body or feel good endorphins. So dance to your favorite playlist, go for a walk or do some yoga. Ayan. Isa rin yan sa mga malaking tulong para mapangalagaan natin ang ating mga sarili. So, ayan. Kasi yung physical activity, nagbo-boost yan ng mood at ng energy level natin. So, the next one is to seek support. You are not alone. Ayan. Sino ba yung mga kailangan nating kausapin pagka hindi tayo okay? Huwag mo sinasarili ang mga bagay-bagay. Pwede tayong kumausap sa trusted friend, sa family member, or kung ah, feeling mo is hindi ka comfortable, pwede ka naman na kumausap ng isang therapist or kay Lord, ayan. So, bakit siya nagwo-work? Because sharing your feelings lightens your emotional load. Ayan, next slide po. Ayan, dumako naman tayo sa mga self-care myths. Ayan, yung self-care is everywhere. Social media, conversations, and even sa mga advertisements. But let's be real. Maraming misconceptions about the self-care. And sometimes, yung mga misconceptions na to ay pinipigilan tayo from truly understanding and practicing it. So let's talk about some common myths and replace them with the truth. Ayan. The first one is self-care is expensive. Totoo ba? Ayan. So syempre hindi. Kapag narinig yung mga tao na self-care kasi naiisip agad nila yung kailangan natin yung mga luxury na skincare, kailangan natin na mag-spa, kailangan natin ng mga expensive na vacation, punta tayo ng Baguio, Tagaytay, Boracay, or kung saan-saan man. So, those can be self-care. For some, pwede siya maging self-care sa iba, pero ang katotohanan ay self-care doesn't have to cost anything. Yes po, self-care can be as simple as resting, drinking water, or setting boundaries. And these are free but effective ways to take care of yourself. Hindi mo kailangan mag-travel sa iba't ibang lugar, magpaspa, or mag uh, kung ano-ano mang mga expensive na bumili ng mga expensive na bagay, mag-shopping para lang masabi na inaalagaan mo yung sarili mo. Yung simpleng pag-inom ng ah, enough water, yung pag-set mo ng boundaries, simpleng pagpapahinga mo for a day is a form of self-care. Ayan. For example nga ay you are taking a nap when you are tired or spending time in nature. So labas ka lang diyan sa bahay nyo, 'di ba? Kami kasi pagka dito sa bahay, kapag lumalabas kami since bukirin yung labas namin, ayan nakakapag-nature-nature na kami diyan. Nakakita na kami ng mga halaman or mga puno at talagang nakakapagpakalma siya. So self-care is about meeting your needs and not about spending money. Sometimes the best self-care is the simplest. Ayan. Next slide po. Ayan, the next one is self-care is selfish. Selfish daw. So, have you ever felt guilty for saying no to someone because you needed time for yourself? Your Honor, I guilty. So, yung society kasi has parang kinondisyon niya na tayo para, ah, mag-isip or maisip na 'pag pina-prioritize natin yung sarili natin, ibig sabihin nun selfish na tayo. Pero, eto po ang katotohanan, you can't pour from an empty cup. Taking care of yourself is essential if you want to take care of others. It's not selfish, it's survival. Tulad nga po ng sinabi ko kanina, ah, hindi pagiging selfish ang unahin ng sarili natin. So, minsan kailangan din natin mag-say no sa ibang tao at unahin po ang sarili natin. So, hindi po siya pagiging selfish, it is survival. So, think of this way, if you are physically or emotionally drained, you cannot give your best to your family, to your friends, to your work, or to your studies. So, 'di ba, tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, you cannot give what you do not have. Paano mo sila matutulungan kung you know to yourself na kailangan mo din ng tulong? So, kailangan muna natin mag-recharge para matulungan natin sila in the best way that we can. So you are actually benefiting the people around you too by recharging. So for example, sabihin mo sa kanila na, I need some time to rest, but I will help you later. 'Di ba? Mas magaan 'yun sa pakiramdam. So, it's not about ignoring the others. Hindi ibig sabihin nag-no ka sa kanila ay ini-ignore mo na sila. It's about making sure that you are in a good place to support them better. Na mas mabibigyan mo sila ng mas maayos at mas better na tulong kung, matutulungan mo muna yung sarili mo. Ayan, kung makakapag-recharge ka muna. So, next slide po. Ayan, the third one is the self-care is only for when you are struggling. Ayan, so maraming tao yung nag-iisip na ang self-care daw ay pang-crisis mode lang. So parang band-aid solution lang na kapag sobrang stress ka na or burned out. So, but here's the thing. Ang katotohanan po dyan is self-care is preventive, not just reactive. It is something you should practice regularly to maintain your well being and avoid burnout. So think of it like recharging or charging your phone. You don't wait until it's completely dead before plugging it in. So when you make self-care a habit, you are building resilience. It becomes easier to handle life's challenges because you have already prepared yourself mentally, emotionally, and physically. So self-care is not laziness. It is part of sustainable lifestyle. So next one po. Ayan. The fourth one is self-care looks the same for everyone. We often see influencers na nagpo-promote ng self-care routines na don't resonate with us. Na gumigising sila at 5 a.m., nag-yoga, and drinking green smoothies. But ang katotohanan po ay self-care is personal. What works for one person might not work for another. Hindi ibig sabihin na nag-work sa ibang tao ay mag-work na rin sa'yo. At hindi ibig sabihin na nag-work sa'yo ay mag-work na rin sa ibang tao. So for example, self-care might mean quiet time alone. For others, it's hanging out with friends. For example, ikaw, ang self-care sa'yo ay ah, pagiging mag-isa, ah, pag-give ng time sa sarili mo. Pero para sa iba, ang self-care para sa kanila ay pagha-hangout kasama yung mga friends nila, having vacations kasama yung mga, ah, tao sa paligid nila. And also, yung iba naman, nakakahanap sila ng joy in cooking meals from scratch or yung luluto sa bahay. Pero yung iba naman mas prefer nila na nag-o-order sila ng pagkain sa labas or sa fast food para makapag-save sila ng energy. So, find what works for you. It's your self-care journey and not someone's else. Ayan. So, self-care is about you. You. So, your needs, your preferences, and your well-being. It's not about following trends or living up to others people's standards. So, next slide po. Ayan. So, as we end, let me leave you with a reminder. Self care is not luxury, it's a necessity. It's not about doing it perfectly, it's about showing up for yourself in whatever the way you can, even if just a small step. So you don't need to have everything figured out, and you are allowed to grow at your own pace. And most importantly, remember this, that you are not alone and you are enough just as you are. Ayan, so thank you for taking time to be here, and I hope this session inspired you to take better care of yourself. So, dahil alam ko na deserve nyo yan. So, if you found this helpful, share it with someone who needs a little encouragement. So, once again, I am Yasmin Saliman, your certified mental health first aider,